Hi guys, Happy New Year. Happy Wealthy Wednesday. Today is officially January 1st, 2020. I don't know about you guys, but I had a great time celebrating the end of 2019 as well as embracing the new year, 2020. So I am so excited to be here. Hello, everybody. Please text, or not text, hello, post what you guys are actually doing. If you're laying, well, I was literally watching, well, I wasn't even watching the football game because I don't really watch football, but I was on the couch all day today, which was fantastic. So thank you, thank you. Happy New Year to all of you guys. So post what you guys are up to. If you're on the couch, put the couch. If you guys are out and about, put out and about, whatever it is. But definitely post it on here because I want to know what you guys are all up to. I'm just going to say hello to a few people. So Alchemy, Cindy, Feels of Mantra, love your candles. Excuse me, Moni. Oh, hey, neighbor. Queen B604, ayuda en español. Who else? Happy New Year. Yes, Melissa, hello, beautiful. Angie, Susie, the consultancy. I want to make sure I say that correctly. Let me see. Yay, so many of you guys are on here. I appreciate it. House sitting for my parents. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Monia, where are you? Waiting for my clothes to dry on my couch. On the couch working on a t-shirt design. I love it. Shopping too much on Amazon. You save me money. Oh my God, that's awesome. That's so awesome. Beautiful. All right. So did I not? Yeah, I did go live. Okay, great. So for those that it's your first time, as you guys are posting on here, what you guys are doing today, the very first day of the year, it's so crazy. Set your intention on the couch reading. I love it. It just happens to be that it lands on Wealthy Wednesday, so perfect. And I almost skipped it, and I said, well, I'm sure everybody's going to be, just kind of lazy, being or like, just enjoying their day off. But I said, no, I actually am really excited to jump on and just, begin the year right. And so because of that, I said, let's do it. Let's totally do it. So I was really excited about it. And literally, as you guys are jumping on here, I'm like, oh my God, hi. I get so excited about that stuff. It's so crazy, but I do. So I'm going to grab myself, and I wanted to jump on here today to remind you guys that I just want to see you guys win. I love hearing stories. I love you guys messaging me like, I watched a Wealthy Wednesday and something clicked and now I'm saving all this money. Or because of you, I actually have money in my savings account. Or I just paid off a credit card. Or so many different financial goals. Like that truly gets me so excited. So for those that actually it's your first time, if it's your first time, post that it's your first time. We're hoping that it's not your last, by the way. And I always ask that question because I always assume that you guys have been on here for quite some time because we've been doing Wealthy Wednesdays for a few years already. And so if it's your first time, post that it's your first time. And if it's not your first time, because I know I see some of these names, often, I appreciate it and I love you guys so very much. And for those that it's not your first time, I would actually love, Moni, thank you, welcome. I would love for you guys to message me one topic, just one, that you would want me to talk about in 2020. Why? Because it is really important for me to give you guys content or create content that is going to be valuable for you. Like just jumping on here and saying hi to you guys is exciting for me, but I want it to be equally exciting for you guys on the other side. So if you're like, can you specifically talk about this? One, it makes my life so much easier. Two, I'd rather give you content that you guys want to listen to, bottom line. Okay, so if you guys can do that for me, I would absolutely really appreciate it. You guys can DM me because I don't always read perfect. Like we just got one right now. It says Nancy Placencia, how are you, beautiful? She puts college students plus finances. Perfect. I appreciate it. I'll make sure I'll note it down and I'll talk about that. And thank you for that. I appreciate it. So tune in also from what city you guys are tuning in from. I always love knowing where you guys are listening in. So if my voice sounds really, I've been sick since the 26th of December. I don't know what happened. I think I got just a sinus cold with the heater and I just embraced it. I haven't been sick since 2014. That was the last time I was sick. And I said, you know what? This is how I embrace this. I usually say it's because whatever was toxic in my body, in my mind and my body, it just needed to be released. And therefore, that's why I get to embrace that I have a stuffy nose. I get to embrace that my head feels really congested, and I get to embrace whatever my voice sounds like. So that's how I take a look at me being sick. And I say sick because I'm not, like I'm healed and all that good stuff. And so if it's your first time, my name is Eva Macias. I'm the author of A Latina's Guide to Money, which you can get on Amazon. You can also purchase it if you decide to go to my office. They're $20. You can go on Amazon and you can have it by tomorrow, I believe. So you can pick up that book. We did make it an Amazon bestseller under 4 different categories: retirement planning, new release, women and money, and I can't remember the other one. And so anyways, you guys can pick that up. Also, I'm the founder and creator of a financial bootcamp where the model is you're worthy of having it all, which actually starts January 7th. And I'm so excited for all these women that are going to be there. And I don't think we have any men, but I'm so excited for them. I'm so excited to begin the year right, in the right mind space and in the container of space that allows them to just be true to themselves and be honest with themselves. So that's, if you guys ever wonder what that's more about, you guys can go check out my website, evamacias.com, or you guys can, the link is in the bio, click on it, find out more about the financial bootcamp. When I created the financial bootcamp, I created it with the intention of it being an everyday, and I can't say basic, but more of, there's so much information out there, especially now with the internet, that sometimes we get on information overload. So my goal for you guys is, I got all the important topics that I felt were important as I was growing up in my 20s and in my 30s, and even like 40s and 50s, because whatever you do in your 20s and 30s will affect you in your 50s and 60s. And so I wanted it to simplify it in the most, and I can't say like just simplify it, but I wanted to simplify it in a way that you can actually implement into your life. If you're a lot like me, if things get super complicated and I can't understand it, I walk away from them. That's pretty much how I've operated my life. So if it gets too complex, I'm like, this is not for me. And so by allowing all this financial jargon and simplifying it and then creating something that was really dear to my heart and coming from a space of, I know, I feel, I got you, is where really the magic happened for this boot camp. We started with 8 women in my office, and we've had over 200 plus alumni. And you're part of our alumni group. You get to be invited to such amazing events like the Worthy Wonderland brunch that we just had. We just had like about 100 women there, and we just connect and network. And when you're part of that network, it's totally free for you. The boot camp is an investment, so you guys get to check out all that good stuff and all that wonderful stuff. Anyways, so I am the creator of that, and I'm also the president of Eva Macias and Associates, Financial and Insurance Services. Super long, but I gotta explain it because there's some first timers and it's really important. And the purpose of, or the company, or my company, what it stands for, is really to be able to come into my office, take a look at your finances, and the first appointment is always a discovery appointment, okay, just so that you guys know. It's a complimentary appointment, by the way. So if you're wondering, I wonder how much she cost. First, it's complimentary because of the fact that I don't know if we're going to be a fit for each other, and I also don't know if I'm going to be able to help you. Not just a fit, but if I can bring value to your finances. And so the first appointment is a discovery. The second appointment, once I look at where you're at, the second appointment comes down to strategies. What are the strategies that you can implement in your finances to get you to where you want to be? Right? And so that's the second appointment. And then usually when you come in the third time, it's because we've already implemented the plan and you're just excited to get started. Like you're excited to just allow the plan to be implemented for you, right? So it's usually a 3-step process. I say that because it's really important for you guys to know that. I remember having a client and she was like, oh, my biggest fear of going to go see you was I thought you were gonna be too expensive for me. And she never looked into my website. She never asked how much I cost, any of that stuff. And so when I tell people it's a complimentary appointment, it's usually like, she work for free. No, I don't work for free, guys, but my first appointment is definitely complimentary and I explain the entire process. And so that's how it all works out. So I hope to see you guys in 2020 in my office. And also for those that don't know, we are pregnant. And so you're actually in, there's our crib. That's the only thing that's up actually. You're actually in our baby nursery room. And my goal is to take on as many clients as I possibly can up until I possibly can. My due date is March 25th. And so my goal is to take on as many clients as I possibly can from here until I expect, because after that, I will be taking some time off to enjoy my little bundle of joy and be with her. And so because of that, I highly encourage that if you're really committed to your finances, that you make an appointment. If you're like, I want to work on something, but I don't really, I want to go in there doing it my way, then I say, don't even bother. You get to come in so coachable and so open to receiving abundance and implementing abundance, right? So if you're like, yeah, this is a year, because I see all the posts, it's New Year's, new goals, this and that. I'm like, and that's great. I could give what about the post. I want to know, how are you going to be doing this? So let's get to it. So Wealthy Wednesdays, today's topic is to be specific about your goals. As you guys are jumping on here, I'm just going to say really quick hello to Veronica, Vanessa, hello to Liv. Really quickly, I'm going to take my best friend Gabby meal prep. Chili recommended you. Oh, wonderful. Oh, that's awesome. Great. Oh, sorry. I just accidentally pushed the phone. Okay. Hey, Debbie, Monica, how are you? Aurora. Hello, beautifuls. Angie. Okay, perfect. All right, great. So I'm going to tell you something that's worked for me. Again, this is not about me. This is about what I've learned to implement in my life so that this way I can win in my life, right? Because at the end of the day, all you can do is implement for you and your family. So I'll give you guys a few things. I have a few things scattered here. Thank you for the love, by the way. I appreciate it. So if you guys know me, I'm a big believer in vision boards. And let me just put this on here really quickly. So since I'm a really big believer in vision boards, I believe in taking a really big vision and breaking it down to its most everyday form, right? So this is my vision board, and right now it just has Post-its because I plan on making this prettier, and it was supposed to happen today, but it didn't. So this is my vision board, and I divided this. It's a super small, probably body size that I picked up at, and you can pick it up at the 99-cent store. And I divided it into, 3, 6, 9 categories for me. And some of the categories were wealth and prosperity, fame and reputation, health, mind, body, family, skills, career, travel, and children. And so I decided this year that I was going to be focusing on just 1 to 2 things specifically to each category. So for example, I'm going to talk about 2 categories for me right now that are really important. Normally I would go directly into business because that's just easy for me to do. That's my very comfortable place, but I decided to actually go completely opposite and go to something that I find to be not my so easy or comfortable space, which is normally mind, body, and spirit. And what I mean by that is I don't go to the gym. Okay, and I'm gonna put myself on blast because I am. I don't go to the gym. I don't work out per se. I read a lot. I'm a mental person. I read a lot. I can work long hours. That doesn't bother me. I like to read. But one of the things that I've noticed, and I'm very active, is that it's really, I made up the story that it's difficult for me to meditate or work out. So I decided to really allow myself that in 2020, I was going to actually quiet the noise a lot more so that I can be able to have more mental clarity for me. So how do you put that in a plan, right? And even though I know we want to talk about finances, let me tell you why this is so important. So it's important to quiet the noise because as I was actually Christmas shopping, I realized that most people, the reason why I think they make these decisions on buying a bunch of stuff is because you start becoming so emotional, maybe some guilt might come out. Oh, I didn't buy this person this, so I might as well buy this other person this because I didn't buy them this or whatever, you know? Whereas with me, I literally, it was myself and my assistant. We had a list. We had the sizes of clothing because I already knew I was going to buy them clothing. And I had a budget. And as soon as we found all of that, then we brought it home, gift wrapped it. Anything that was extra that I shouldn't have gotten got immediately returned right back. And why do I do that is because I want to stay on budget. I want to stay on goal. So as I was shopping, I also realized that a lot of people actually don't quiet the space of everything else. Like I went in there intentional, this is what I was gonna get and get out. And I shopped literally 2 days before Christmas, which was really crazy of me. But I did it and I felt overall great. So since we talk about being specific about our goals, I'm gonna tell you so I'm gonna show you. So I have my vision board. And then from my vision board, I also have a 2020 calendar that I actually, I have a calendar. I've had calendars for the last, I don't know, like 15 years. I live off of calendars. I love letter size calendars and I love spiral because it's easy for me to tear stuff out and it's easy for me to keep track. So I was actually completing this. I already have it completed in yellow form, but I'm going to put it in here really pretty. Something else that I also always have with me is notes. So I always have a little notebook everywhere that I go, whether it's in my purse, whether it's in my backpack, whether anywhere, because I like to jot ideas. And then from this, realize, okay, is it supporting the bigger vision or is it not, right? So everything gets to support the big vision and then we break it down. But this is where I put all of my brain dump, if that's what you want me to call it. And if I don't have this, I jump on my laptop and I literally pull a sheet of paper and I put brain dump and I just put the date. I did that last year a few times, but I like to write. I don't know what it is and I haven't found an article on it, but writing it to me is a lot more, it connects with my brain a little bit better than just typing it. So I have the big vision board, I have the notebook, and I have my calendar, okay? So I'm gonna tell you 2 of my goals for this year that are really important for me. So this year, because I am now into my 7th month, I'm 7 months pregnant, it is really important for me to move my body, but not just move my body like to get up and go to work or to get up and do that stuff, to move my body in a way that is specifically for health reasons. So earlier today, I actually sent a message to my assistant, which I love. So thank you, Gabby. I absolutely love you. And I sent her a message and I say, hey, I know you start at 9 a.m., but wanted to see if you wanted to do this with me. Why her? Well, she's my assistant, which I also want her to be in a great mind space. When she goes to work, I want her to be able to create the momentum in the office as well as for her personal life. Like I want to see her win too. And so I said, would you be willing to meet me at a local park here in Whittier? And we would walk for 30 minutes before work starts, before your day starts. And right after that, we'll go straight to the office. We'll get at least a 30-minute walk. Why? Because one of my goals specifically was to move. So I wanted to move. So even if it's just to walk to the park and enjoy nature, that's important. Put my cell phone down, just really mental clarity. So to be specific with goals, you get to, first of all, ask, what are they? So for me, I'm going to share 2 of them. That was one of them, was to move. And so in order for you to be specific, you get to also have a time bound for it. So time bound for it meaning like, when are you going to do this? So for me, I was like, okay, if I get home during the day, I get so wrapped up in my day, it's not going to work. If I do it after work, it's not going to work because usually by that time I get home really hungry. I got to prep dinner or whatever the case may be. But what time works for me right now? And I say right now because once the baby comes, I'm going to make adjustments. And so I was like, okay, well, right now what works for me is 30 days before. I can do that. So 1, it's measurable, and 2, it has a time. What I've noticed in creating goals, people be like, oh, someday. Someday is not in the calendar. Try to find someday here. There's no someday. There's a day every single day specifically to today, tomorrow. This is a date, right? There's even time. So another thing that's important is time bound is when in your day is it going to work? When can you create this? And instead of looking at your goals like, oh, tomorrow I'm going to do this, you should look at them from a larger scale. Look at them from the whole year. Like, I know we just finished Christmas. I know we just finished a new year, like the end of, right? But take a look at, what do you want at the end of 2020 going into 2021? What do you want to be celebrating then? Right? Like, everybody's talking about the decade. I'm like, I can't even find pictures of what I did like last week. I was like, to go to a decade, like I've done so much, is great to reflect. One thing I reflected on my goals is how would I set my intention, because just intentions alone are not going to get you there. It's intentions, it's doing the work, it's having the time measurable for it. And also, this is something else that I did on here. I said, be specific, but they get to be goals that you know you can accomplish. Like, by me moving this, I'm not going to look like J-Lo. I'm not. Like, surrender that thought. I could cut out J-Lo and put her on my vision board, but let me tell you something. That's like 20 plus years of working out, no alcohol, no sugar, no whatever her diet looked like, right? Like, that's completely irrelevant for me. For me, what makes Eva win is to move 30 minutes a day, because that in itself, from, let's just say, not walking to walking, I already won. You see? So that's how you could be specific, right? Exactly. Ayuda en español, I just put intentions with the action. So the action get to be specific. So small goals for me are to move, to get in relationship with my body. And I'll set the other one right now. So what I get to do is I get to write it down. So it's writing it down, whether it be in your notes, okay, or on your calendar. So I actually blocked off my calendar from 8:30 to 9. I completely blocked it off like I would a client, like I would if you're walking into my appointment. It's an appointment with me and the park, right? And so every single day, Monday through Friday, from 8 to 8:30. So write it down. So by when, which is every single day between 8 to 8:30, and also have an accountability partner. Someone that's not, that you know is not that's gonna hold you to your higher self. So the reason why for me, I decided to pick my assistant was because I feel like I'm a leader, right? And if I want my assistant to level up, just like a parent relationship, I would assume, is they're only gonna level up if I set the tone, if I set the example, if I set the intention, and if I show her how it could be done. So the way I look at it, and I talked about this before, is monkey see, monkey do. Gabby, I promise you I'm not calling you a monkey, but even with our little one, you know, like, I'm learning to know that I've seen enough parents do things, and once I'm a parent, I'm sure whatever, like, things are going to change. But what I'm saying is, kids don't usually listen to what you're telling them to do. Kids listen to what you're showing them how to do it. And if it could be fun along the way, they're most likely going to listen. That's been my experience of an observation as a non-parent. And so why not implement that with an adult as well? Because at the end of the day, we're all just 5-year-old little kids that want to be happy. And we just piled up a bunch of adult responsibilities and forgot that we're 5 years old and that we really just want to be appreciated and loved. And so I'm like, okay, if I go back to my 5-year-old self, I want to play. I want to feel light. I want to feel free. So let me bring that and let me show others how to. And because I know it's my assistant, I cannot like go back to it, because then I would not be holding my my word to her. And so that's why I decided to make it her. Now, could I do it with other people? Could I do it with my mom? Could I do it with my husband? Yes, but my husband and I, we're on different schedules sometimes. With my best friend, we're on different schedules. With my mom, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, moms are so understanding. And even though my assistant would also be understanding, it's also important for me to know that it just, to me, it helps me level up. So I said, I'm going to do that. Also, another goal that I have, because I get so busy in everyday life, I get so busy in my career, I get so busy creating, I get so, and busy not in a bad way, like, I appreciate everything that I've done. but I know that I can do a better job in reminding my significant others that I love them. Like that to me brings joy. And so I decided, and literally like I wrote this stuff down. It's like I literally did. I said, so move my body and then remind my loved ones that they are special. So one thing that I did literally yesterday was, okay, well, how can I remind them? They all have different language of love. And so what can I do for them? So I actually decided to write down all the important people in my life. And I have a lot of important people, but I'm talking about specifically my family. Because I don't know about you guys, but if the holidays come, sometimes, you know, family members can be a little just family members. Like this person won't come over to this house because this person doesn't talk to this person, right? Like if you have that family, like post an emoji, because I know I'm not the only crazy one out there about that. So I said, you know what? I should never let that get in the way of the relationship that I have with them or that they have with me, because it's not about what they have with me. It's about the relationship I have with them. And so this is my ugly one, but it's all pretty in this one. Because this ugly stuff, this is my, like, what is it? Just my brain dump that goes into here. And by the way, if you want one of these, I'm worthy of having it all. When you come to my office and make that appointment, make sure to remind me to give you one, by the way. So I text message every single one of my family members, and I said, I need your birthdays. I need full birthdays, because it is really, really important for me to know how old you are, because half the time I'm trying to figure out, like, oh, are they 50? Are they 60? Oh, did I be 5 years old? Like, I have a hard time with that because I'm constantly thinking about numbers, but I forget about age. Even though I'm going to be, actually, this is my birthday month. Oh, hey, I'm going to be 39, and I forget that I'm 39. Like, I just operate from a different space. So they gave me all their birthdays. Don't look at this because there are all the birthdays there, but every single one of them. So I have 8 brothers and sisters. I have 13 nieces and nephews, and I have, what do you call them, great nephews and nieces, right? So I wrote all of their birthdays. I also did it for my husband's family, which is also my family, and I also did it for my tribe. And I say that because, like, my best friend's been my best friend for over 20 years. You know what I mean? Ayuda en Español has been supporting me so much, and she's known it, like, we've known each other for over 10 years. You know, like my bridesmaids, like their stuff is on here. And why? Because those are the people that when I have shitty days, those are the people that I call. And those are the ones that I actually need reminders. All of you are super amazing and special, and I wish I had all your birthdays. But like, I go back to my family. There's a reason why God gave me my family. So again, my goal for 2020 is to remind my family members that they're special. And so I wrote all these things down. And then you can go to the Dollar Tree. There we go. You guys can go to the Dollar Tree. I don't care where you guys go. But I usually have birthday cards always stashed because it's always somebody's birthday. So what I decided to do is already pre-write all the birthday cards for all of them, and put them in a little box, categorized with their name and everything, and the day of their birthday, with what do you call them, stamps and everything, so that I can mail them their card and I do not forget that it is their birthday, and a special little reminder. And that to me was measurable. All I needed to do was get it from here and put it into like here, like in January. I even put my birthday. So I have my sister who's going to be 53. I have one of our nieces who's going to be 5, and then I'm going to be 38. And then the following one, I have my sister who's going to be 52, my nephew's going to be 30, my sister-in-law who's going to be 53, my brother who's going to be 55. And the reason why I wanted to know their ages is because I think time goes by so fast that we take it for granted and we think they're going to live forever, which they're not. So for me, that's really important, especially because I do a lot of financial planning for retirees, right, over 60. It just, 2 days ago, I had a gentleman who's 70 years old, super healthy, and he's crying in my office because he says, my kids just don't understand that I'm just getting older. And I'm over here like, oh my God, I'm crying, especially because I'm pregnant. And because I feel you, like I totally feel his pain, and I'm just like, God, I don't want that to be me. Like, I don't want to forget that they're going to be there with me forever. Because yes, they're going to be there with me forever in spirit. See, I'm going to start crying. But they're not. I'm totally going to start crying. See? Baby hormones, we'll blame it on that. Anyways, but we don't know, and so I don't want to take them for granted anymore. So one of my goals in 2020 is to remind them how special they are. And so because of that, I decided to put it in my calendar. And mind you, this is my personal calendar, and I do have one for my office as well. So I divided, not that they're separate because I'm the same person, but in my brain, thank you for the love, by the way. In my brain, I have to create compartments or sections in order for me to get things accomplished. And so now I need to call my parents. I know, see, that's what I'm saying. Like yesterday we spent New Year's Eve just having dinner with them, and it was amazing. Totally hormones, right? But anyways, that's one of the goals that I wanted to get done for this year, was to remind them how special they are. And then, so let's move my body, remind my loved ones that they are special. And then the other one, which I am going to talk about, finances. I don't want my eyes to completely cry because I don't want my eyelashes to fall off. Anyways, is to stay within my daily food budget. So I created a daily food budget, and I actually wrote it down. And so my daily food budget, let's just say, is $25. So $25, why did I put just $25? Because I realized that I actually can cook, and I don't like hearing people say that eating organic is expensive, because it's actually not. It's all the other crap that you buy extra that you don't need. So not every single day, but the mornings for us usually are a good protein shake. And so getting the extras like the peanut butter and the almonds and the protein and the almond milk and the like super greens and all that other little stuff, I can make a shake with $8. Like, I know I can. Lunch, I can decide to cook lunch, or I could decide to go out and eat lunch. I just know that I can't spend more than $8, let's just say. And the reason why is because that means you don't need the Coke, you don't need the combo, you don't need the extra stuff that's just trying to fill in your body. So you need the protein, right? And so because of that, that's why I decided to choose it. And then dinner, whether it be like 8 and then like 10, or it be, you could break it down. And so why? Because I've noticed that I can eat really healthy, and it's so easy to prepare. It's easy to do it, and it's also easy not to. So the way I look at it, if I can stick within my daily food budget, then I'll win. As you guys continue to watch Wealthy Wednesdays, I'm going to continue to share what I do, and I do this yearly to stick to my goals. And I've gotten better over time because I am human. And when I first started, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. But I even have like I break it down so much to like nails, facials, hair and makeup, meals and entertainment, food, breakfast, lunch. Like, I break it down from the year to the days to the meals, and that helps me more or less for me, because I do deal with numbers, and I given myself permission to tell myself that it's easy to deal with numbers. Okay, I failed statistics 5 times, guys, and I'm not proud of that. But don't convince yourself that you already lost by telling yourself I'm not good with my budget. Just say, I'm going to give this a chance. I'm just going to go ahead and stick to my daily budget. If you stick to your daily budget, you will, at the end of the year, win, and you will end up with more money in your bank account. Like, numbers don't lie, people do. And I say that because that's been a model of mine as well for a very long time. And at the end of the day, people want more peace of mind. At the end of the day, you want to have a bigger fat bank account and all that good stuff. How do you do that? Is by sticking to your word and to your commitment to yourself that you're going to do this. So for me, these things are not my grand, like, oh my God, there's so much other stuff that I have here on this vision board. But those things right there for me, I know will help me stay I got to take care of Eva, right, by moving, and by taking care of Eva, I can take care of Camila. And even though I'm forming my own family, I also have a family that's been there thank you so much, that's awesome, that has been super supportive, like my brothers, my sisters, my parents, my best friend. And so I can't just be like, F you guys, like now I have my kids and my husband, like it doesn't work that way. Like it's all family. So because of that, I was like, no, I just got to remind them, and thought I'd kind of wheel some of us in and say, hey, like this is important for me. And even if it's not important for them, as long as it's important for you, that's all that gets to matter, is what are you contributing to humanity and to your humans around you that reminds them that they're special. So those are some of the things that, like I said, how do you become specific is you get clear. You get clear of what your goals are. You get clear of what you want to create. That's why I start with the vision board. From that vision board and that bigger picture, like if I just put, remind my loved ones that they are special. Like how do you put that in a measurable, time down thing? Well, okay, when can I remind them that they're special? Yes, at any given time, but how awesome is it to be able to handwrite them a note instead of just sending them a text message, right? I mean, I appreciate text messages a lot. And I said, you know what? I am going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and just write all those cards, get them ready, and that allows me to remind them, and it's been measurable, and I've set a time for it, as well as for my body, and as well as for my finances. So I really hope that today, by me sharing these tips, these tricks, these ideas with you, help you spark clarity in what you guys want to accomplish. Like I said, things that just work for me is having a vision board. I have like the last, I think, 4 or 5 years. Having a calendar, making sure that I don't brain dump on my calendar. This is like stuff I'm gonna do. This is stuff that just is all over my head because my brain goes in different directions at all given times. I think I got this for like $2 at Marshall's. Don't get all complicated, ladies, with, oh, it has to look so pretty. Like, this is beautiful. But don't get stuck in the, oh, it has to look a certain way. Like, I don't care if it's shitty. Like, just grab a notebook. So these things go with me everywhere. They're in my backpack. Whereas of this is my reminder of what the bigger picture that I want to get accomplished. I set a goal last year, like 2019. Hey, Caduce, how are you? Yay! I set a financial goal for myself. And in my head, I thought, well, it's a stretch, but we'll see. And 12/31/2019, I was very, very happy and excited that I accomplished it. And I said, I'm going to reward myself with something. And I was like, okay, I'm going to buy myself something. I'm going to splurge a little. I'm going to buy something, whatever, expensive. And, oh, you guys fell. Sorry about that. Totally fell because I moved the chair. After thinking about it, I was like, yeah, I actually don't want to spend on anything. Like, hitting the goal in itself is a reward. Knowing that I did it is a reward. So I was like, I don't need anything. Like, there's nothing that I need in this present moment besides the fact that I knew that I could do it. And how awesome would it be for me to 5x that or 10x that? And what, like, not only like the financial goal of, oh, I hit, this, but it was more of like, wow, I made it harder in my head and it wasn't that hard. It was not that difficult to hit the goal once I got focused, and once I set the intention, once I wrote it down, and once I said, I want to be able to celebrate this. So I hope that this was amazing for you guys. I would love for you guys to post one of your goals that you guys want to get accomplished, if that's okay, because I will watch this and I will go over it. That's how I get better, right? But I love knowing what you guys want to get accomplished. And again, you're very welcome. I'm so grateful to have seen a few people that I normally don't see, so I'm really, really happy about that. Yes, I have a journal right on there, my monthly expenses, my bills, all that good stuff. Marshall's has nice planners for like $5 or less. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't matter where you guys get it. What matters is that you're consistent with it. The reason why Wealthy Wednesdays has worked so much, I think, is because of the fact that what's worked is that we've been consistent. Because imagine if I did this just today and then like I went back 3 months later and did it again, you guys would probably be like, who's this Wealthy Wednesday girl? Like, you know, but I think most of you who have been consistent with me, even though we probably have never physically met, because I've been so consistent on here, like you probably feel like you know me. Like I let you into my house. I'm here raw as possible as I can be. I may need a Kleenex soon, but you get what I'm saying? And so the consistency of me showing up, not only for myself, because I said I would, but me showing up for you is what's worked. And so I want you to go into 2020 with what is that one consistent thing. And I know it's not one, it's one of many, but don't overcomplicate it. Like, for example, just set one thing in those different categories, like mind, body, and spirit, or if they're like financial or like relationship. Like for me, I realize it's easy to talk about money because money is logical. But for me to show vulnerability and for me to step into my vulnerable self, into my graceful self, into my feminine side, sometimes my masculinity comes out more than my femininity. It's just how I've known to be. But that doesn't mean that I don't have it within me. And that's actually my true power, is being the woman that I was born to be. And so because of that, I get to show more of my heart to those that I love. And so this year I said, I'm going to embrace that. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to start with myself by showing my body that I love me so that she knows that I love her. And second, I'm going to remind my entire family that they are appreciated and that I'm thinking of them. And along the way, I'm going to stick to my financial goals. And I have a lot of career goals that are coming. So I hope that you guys continue to come on to Wealthy Wednesdays. They're every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Set an alarm. I actually have an alarm to remind me that it's Wednesday because sometimes I think it's Tuesday. So again, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys all for, okay, so Cindy put one book a month. I can't wait for your appointment. Oh, great. Awesome. Put others first with intention, listen without a rush to have someone to say, return quick to listen and slow to speak, genuine compliments. I love it. I love it. Can't wait for my appointment. I'm so excited you guys are making these appointments. Say no to things, people, when I truly don't want to do something. Yeah, absolutely. Start each day by drinking 1 glass of water, creating small habits for my health. Yes, make them measurable. Like drink 1 cup of water a day. Like drink 1. And then you're like, okay, I'm gonna add 1.5. Right? Like you're already winning. So they don't have to be this, I'm gonna drink 64 ounces. That should never work for me. So I always just say, I gotta just small that I feel like, oh, I got this. Because when I say, like, for example, who knows, I might look like J-Lo when I'm 50. I'm 38, I still have hope, right? But what I'm saying is that 30 minutes a day for me walking sets me up to it. So what is your winning for 2020? I know we just started, I know it's 2020 now, but in my head, I wanna walk into 2021 knowing that this conversation that I'm having today with you is gonna set the tone of the entire year for you. And that along the way, that you choose me to help you with what you want to get accomplished, right? So I would love to continue talking because I absolutely can forever, but want to wish you guys a happy new year, and I hope that you guys definitely come into my office. If you guys happen to know of anybody who has old money, like money sitting around from a previous employer that they haven't done anything with, I would love to connect with you and show you what some of your options are. Also, if you happen to know of anybody who is over the age of 60, I would love to connect with you as well. There's been a lot of new changes in the financial spectrum. And so people who are close to retiring, like when I say that, like they're like 60 plus, it's really important that they come into my office because sometimes they don't see what I see and then they end up choosing, things that they could have. They end up choosing what they see, but they don't choose what they could possibly have, which could be a lot more. So I hope that you guys, if you guys happen to know of anybody who's over the age of 60, please have them connect with me. If you're not over 60, also connect with me. But I would love to continue connecting and seeing how I can help you manifest those financial goals again, because that's my expertise, is focusing on financial goals to make sure that you guys win in 2020 and in 2021. So I appreciate you guys. Have a fantastic, wealthy Wednesday, and Happy New Year again. And I love you guys very much. Bye.